Hey everyone, I wanted to quickly go over my reactions to the new weapons trailers Capcom released for Monster Hunter Rise on the Nintendo Switch. For those who didn't know, this entire week Capcom will be putting out weapons trailers showcasing every single one of the 14 weapons from the game and giving us a glance at what their wirebug attacks will look like and what tweaks they've made to each one of the weapons. If you missed the video from yesterday, we covered the longsword and the lance, and the day before that, the bow and the dual blades. So there's 4 weapon videos out already, and I highly encourage you guys to check them out. Today we'll be looking at the long-awaited heavy bowgun and light bowgun videos. Starting out with the light bowgun, we get to see the Grady Suchi armor set, which was showcased in one of the previous teasers a few weeks back. And of course, in what we can expect to become the new standard, Capcom once again showcased a new monster to the game. This time it's the expected return of Tobi Kadachi, a monster that, while not necessarily mentioned in many of the leaks, he was presented in the original game's reveal trailer, so we did expect him in the game. Kinda hard to spoil the surprise. I do love the glow he has in some of the shots, and it's yet another one of those new monsters from World that are returning to Rise. Capcom really understands how much of a hit that game was, and they want to make sure that people who are familiar with World are just as familiar with it on Rise. Moving on to the actual light bowgun moveset, you can see the typical rapid attack for those 3 bursts being showcased, and with what I believe are piercing shots. You also get a shot of the trap being laid down in another staple move with the light bowgun, and then we stride right into the Silkbind attacks. Remember that the Silkbind attacks are essentially measured by how many active wirebugs you have with you at any one time. You start out with 2, and anytime you use a Silkbind attack, a wirebug is spanned and put on a cooldown until it replenishes, so you can increase the total number of wirebugs you have available to you by collecting them across the map via the endemic life forms before any of the hunts. The Silkbind glide will give you a quick dash forward and it will get you closer range to the monster, and it dishes out another burst attack. Remember that the light bowgun is all about movement, and the fanning vault is another one of those reminiscent attacks from the aerial style that once again will have you vaulting over the monster and rain down attacks, but you can also drop down one of the traps, which is interesting. All in all, the light bowgun is another one of those awesome weapons and one of my favorites, and I fully expect to put an ungodly amount of hours when it comes out on Rise. Making our way to the heavy bowgun, there's a few surprises here. First, you see the hunter wearing the Kappa Boy armor, aka Tetranodon, and he's fighting Bishaten. Regarding Bishaten specifically, I do love his spinning moves, and in my original video, when he was originally presented, I wasn't sure what he was actually tossing onto the characters, but it turns out to be fruit. As far as we're aware, they do not have any special traits like paralyze or poison, as it was previously suggested. The heavy bowgun does have the slower shot rate but much more massive damage type of attacks when compared to the light bowgun. And here they showcase the rapid fire while walking. They showcase the drop AoE type of attack like the bows. Then we get to see both Silkbind attacks. The first, free Silkbind glide, is very similar to the one that we just saw with the light bowgun, where you can slide forward, but instead of letting out a rapid burst, you can unleash all of your ammo in a single shot. But more interestingly enough is the second wirebug attack. It's called counter shot, where you essentially hunker down into a position where even the wires are placed all around the floor by your feet, and once you're hit, you dish out a massive attack on the monster and dive right back afterwards when it's set off. It's a really cool idea and an awesome animation. So there you have it, another pair of weapon showcases that we're up to 6 so far. I know that both the hammer and the sword and shield will be the next featured trailers tomorrow, so stay tuned for that, as I'll be putting out a breakdown for each one of those trailers. If you're new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya!